Well, this evening, I have my long lost friend, Miss Christy Staples. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming out. How have you been?
I have been regrouping. I have been renewing. I have been rejuvenating.
I love it.
I've been in hiding. So I've been in my grind mode in my lab working.
Hey, when you don't see people, just know they're coming up with some really good things.
Yes.
So for the people who do not know her, which I'm sure is not a lot, let them know who you are, where you're from. Tell them a little bit about you.
My name is Christy Staples, and I am the owner of Get Launched. And Get Launched is a business branding firm that I created. But now, in the CLS brand experience, is Christy Lachelle Staples doing what she's gifted at, which is planning your event, which is being your virtual director of operations or being your back office boss.
Look, all of the above. And I can personally speak for her work. I have a few of my business partners that she's actually helped get launched. So if you're in that beginning stage, a little weary, this is the woman for you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this new direction you're going.
Yes.
What's different? What's changing? What's your focus?
Everything is different. Everything is changing. So my focus goes from not only startups to people who are more seasoned. One of the services I offer is being for people that are trying to break into the Houston market.
Okay.
You know, we have a lot of people that are in Atlanta, Washington, who have a great base here, and they really want to host their first event in Houston. So I'm your girl.
Great.
That will be your behind-the-scenes strategist to set up your event, to set up your training. You know, you don't know the Houston area. You don't know about the Galleria area as opposed to Sugarland or Clear Lake or something like that. So I'm your girl that you can come to who will help you to set up your business. Now, I'm not an event planner.
Right.
I'm not an event planner, but I am that girl that will come in and do the strategy behind the scenes so that you can have a great event in Houston.
Great.
And then I also market it to my level of my sphere of influence.
And she has a great influence.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. So that's amazing. So there's a difference between the strategy and the event planning side. Can you elaborate on that a little more?
Yeah, so event planning is to make it pretty. You go in, you got tablecloths, you have the decor, everything that makes a blank space ambiance. Okay, so with the behind the scenes strategist, what we do is make sure that you have a proper flyer. We make sure that you have a great location. We make sure that you have an email marketing system going out targeting your people. We make sure that you have a central location. We make sure that you have catered food. We make sure that you have everything that you need. So all you have to do is just show up.
That's great, because a lot of times, as you know, we're thinking about our big event and, you know, things slip through the cracks. So essentially, you're the person to help out and make it a lot easier for that person that might be stressing about planning the event. Just contact you. Let her do all the work. She can knock that out. You just show up and be fabulous and do your thing.
Yes, that's it.
That's great.
That's it.
So transitioning and, you know, kind of rebranding, what are some challenges and obstacles with that?
Oh, the challenge is to dropping your income. The main challenge is dropping your income because you have to be true and honest to yourself and say, hey, if I'm no longer going to serve these people in this capacity, or if I want new space in my schedule for these new people that I want to come on, I have to make that space. So I can't continue to take on that same level of client that I said I'm transitioning from because a bill is due.
Right.
So it's mentally tough because you have to stick to your guns and say, no, I'm creating a space and opportunity for this type of client to come along.
Yeah, and honestly, that's how you grow.
It is.
You know, and if you stay at the same spot and you're stagnant, I personally think that's an issue.
Right.
You know, so how did you get this idea? Did it come overnight?
You know what? I've been doing this because I've served in my church for the last 10 years as behind the scenes. So, you know, we had big gospel artists that come, you know, I was responsible for certain things. So I've always been behind the scenes on a lot of stuff, even playing at our women's conference annually. I'm behind the scenes.
Right.
So I picked up those organizational skills from participating on those committees, from being with my first lady. And I just said, God, I can transfer these skills.
Right.
You know? So I said, people want me. When people purchase something from me, they want you. And I said, well, let me give them more of me. And the true me is that behind the scenes person that makes you look good. I love being the number 2 person and making you look good.
See, that's great. That's very nifty. And something that you touched that I like is it was something you were already doing.
Yes.
You know, it was something that you've been doing for years. So now you just focus that energy and focus on leveraging that gift and that talent, that skill to mainstream it into rebranding into your vision of what you have now.
Yeah, and the main thing I want to point out too, and this is just on my heart to say, is that because a lot of us are in ministries and we're trained and we're giving and serving and we're volunteering at the ministry level, and we don't realize that we can monetize that gift outside the church. And sometimes I think the church kind of holds us pigeonholed, not that they're trying to do it or anything, but just that we have the mindset, oh, that's what I do at church. Well, somebody in the corporate world needs that.
Exactly.
Somebody in the secular world needs that.
Yeah.
And that you can monetize that because you've got all the training. You've got all the hands-on training. Church people are the best training ground ever.
Right.
Because they're people just like anybody else.
Like
they have
us.
problems. They have issues. You know, they don't like the way that you do things. And you have to be a manager. You have to manage that. You have to manage your emotion. You have to manage your feelings.
Yeah, and you have to be transparent and figure out a way to overcome those obstacles. And it's interesting because at my church, I help a lot with the events and everything because that's what I do as well. But yeah, just, you know, taking a gift that you're using as a service tool, you can implement that into, you know, the secular world, the real world, and your business. And don't be afraid to do that because focus on leveraging your strengths. A lot of time people focus too much on the weakness. I'm not saying don't focus on the weakness, but if you focus on leveraging your strength and enhancing that, then you would definitely make that more lucrative if it's in your business.
Of course.
That's great. That's great. So let people know how they can find you. If someone wants to bring an event to Houston, if someone is thinking of an event and needs some strategy behind it, this is a woman. Tell them how they can find you.
Well, you can find me right now. I'm rebranding, so I'm putting up my website. But you can find me on social media, on Instagram at CL Staples, and also on Facebook as Christy L. Staples.
Christy L. Staples, she is the one for you. Man, this has been so much fun. I've enjoyed it. I appreciate you coming out. Leave our entrepreneurs with a nugget, something inspiring, or something that's on your heart that you think someone might need to hear, that if you heard this 2 to 3, 4, 5 years ago, you might have been one step ahead.
Okay, I'm prepared for this because lately I've been doing a lot of research on branding. And branding is all about evolution. If you don't evolve with your brand, then your client base will not evolve. When you, as the business owner, continue to grow, you go to trainings, you invest in yourself, you invest time, money, energy into your brand and yourself, then your clients will do the same because they're following you. They're looking at what you're doing. And so don't be afraid to evolve. Don't be afraid to do something different. Don't be afraid to try something different because you could have started off. When I first started my first business, I wanted to be a bookkeeper because I had an accounting degree. I got laid off. Just quite naturally, it should have been a great fit, right? No, it wasn't a great fit for my personality. So I went back at it, tried it again. So don't be afraid to try different things. And when you try different things, don't invest a lot of money into them up front. You know, invest about $100 into trying it to see if you like it, to see if you'll go forward with it. And then if you do, that's when you really start investing the time, energy, and the training into it. But don't be afraid to evolve with your brand. All brands evolve. That's why we continue to see, you know, new Chick-fil-A's or new branding with Burger King, new branding with McDonald's. They're always evolving. So why, as a small business owner, you can't evolve as well?
I agree. So don't be afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to evolve. And a major key, what she said, is invest in your professional development. If you want people to invest in your company, support you, then you should be investing in yourself. So this has been great. Thank you again for coming. And quick fun fact, she played basketball in college. I did too, so we might have to go to the court, see if she still has it.
I ain't got it. I need to get my legs back under me. I need to get my legs.
Well, I will win this one, but yes, July 15th, we'll have Houston Gospel Fest from 3 to 7. Get your tickets, they're going fast. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place on Young and Successful.